When you're living abroad, there's always something that reminds you of home. A piece of music, a smell, a familiar voice, a special meal. Taste Like Home is all about learning these family recipes and helping your loved ones recreate them wherever they are. Every week on Taste Like Home, I travel to places in Ireland to discover a family recipe. But this time, it's a little different. I got this very special message from Berenice.
Hi Catherine, my name is Berenice. I'm originally from Capetown in South Africa. I'd love you to go and visit my mom and my family back home and go and learn how to make my mom's famous sugar bean curry.
Capetown is one of my favourite places in South Africa, so I really couldn't miss this opportunity. But before I meet up with Berenice's family, there's time to discover some of the reasons why Capetown really is so special. And one of these is the spectacular wines and vineyards in the mountains around the city. First stop is the truly stunning Delaire Graff Estate for some amazing food and wine. Wow. Hello, Warwick. How are you?
Good evening. Good and yourself?
Oh, I'm great. Have you been busy in the kitchen?
As usual, yeah. It's been a busy day, but it's very rewarding if you get to sit out in an area like this and look over beautiful sunsets such as we do here in this country of ours.
Oh, what have we got here?
So for starters, we have a 24-hour beetroot cured salmon, Norwegian salmon, and that is served with roasted chestnuts, and then underneath is a roasted port and chestnut puree, homemade savory granola. Then the little Red Bulls are actually salmon caviar eggs that we have brined in raw beetroot juice overnight.
You know, the granola is stunning with it. There's a phenomenal amount of components to this dish, and yet they all really work together.
If you have each component on its own, it stands for itself, but once you have everything together and you combine it, it creates a whole harmonious effect in your mouth. And you know, I mean, that's what we're about.
Right, there you go. Great, so lovely. This is your scrumptious ostrich fillet that is garnished off with some lovely roasted onion puree at the base. You have your spinach sponge cake. Then you also have bone marrow crumble. Then to finish it off with some roasted shallots with some beef jus. Bon appetit.
Thank you, Elias. It's a picture. Thank you.
Enjoy.
He say bone marrow crumble?
That's correct, yeah. We tend to try and add a lot of richness to the dishes apart from what there is already, which just, you know, finishes off your dish. So within the crumble, we use a panko crumb that we toast off in butter. And we add a lot of lemon and lime zest to that and a bit of the juice as well. And just before we serve it, we actually roast pieces of bone marrow until they're soft and cooked. And we toss that into that crumble that we've roasted out. And then we add that to this dish.
Stunning. It's again all the elements. Oh my goodness. It's just a depth there, isn't there?
Yeah, myself, our winemaker here does definitely make one of the best wines in South Africa.
Oh my goodness, that's so smooth. I could get lost in the glass, but it's so smooth.
We actually use wine that gets produced on this property to make our jus. That's the very fortunate part about working on a property such as this, is that we get to use the best wines for our jus creation.
Mark, I have to say it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Glad you're enjoying it.
Everything just works so well together. It's really wholesome. It's quite a substantial dish.
It is quite,
and yet
yeah.
it's strong in parts, but it's delicate in parts.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm eating this. I don't know what you're eating and what you're having for dinner. Gosh, the sun went down really quickly.
That it does, but it gives a beautiful view over the mountains over there. But it gets really chilly when the sun goes down here in this country. But there's still time for dessert with a bit of ice cream as well. So what we have here is a homemade banana bread, and on the bottom is a hazelnut crumble. We've got whiskey jelly, caramelized banana puree, then there's an espresso mousse, and then the macaron is a plain vanilla macaron with hazelnut cream inside, and then the ice cream is a buttermilk and banana ice cream.
And to go with the banana and buttermilk dessert, this is the Delaire Graff Sunburst Noble Late Harvest 2015 vintage. It's a Sauvignon Blanc with a splash of Semillon. This is a much more fresher, lighter, crisper style. So very elegant, very soft, very smooth, and a much more easier drinking style dessert. And actually with that beautiful, lighter, fresher fruit components in this dessert, that actually accentuates all those light flavors. And also with that crisp acidity that I mentioned, cleanses the palate as well.
Oh my goodness, it's so distinctive, isn't it? With the
It's a beautiful wine.
Yeah.
I must say that that's actually my favorite wine on the property at the moment. And I'm not much of a dessert wine drinker, but that one, it's beautiful.
Well, I have to say, it's a credit to you and your team and to
Thank
Michael
you
and
very
Karma
much.
and everybody working here. I've had an amazing experience.
I'm glad you
The
have.
wine has been out of this world, the food incredibly creative and oh so tasty and incredibly Moorish. In fact, I might just take this with me. If you didn't, you wouldn't miss a plate, would you?
Of course not. You're
Okay,
more than
right,
welcome
well, I
to
just
take
keep-
that
I
back.
keep going like
You can
this.
post it back to us when you get back to Ireland.
It's an early start the next morning and down to the V&A Waterfront. And what better way to get my bearings than a short spin on the Cape Wheel?
Hi, Amanda, is it?
Yes, hi. Welcome to Cape Town.
Lovely Irish weather.
Fantastic. Let's go inside.
Thank you.
Amanda, this is beautiful here in the V&A Waterfront. There's so much to do and see, isn't there?
It's fantastic. I mean, you know, a lot of locals, they take it for granted.
The beauty of it is that you can actually go on something like this, on the Cape Wheel, and you can see the Table Mountain, you can see Robben Island, you get all the sights in as well.
Yeah.
Whilst having a full day of activities down below.
You know, you could be staying on the Atlantic coast and looking over Camps Bay Beach, and that's all you see in the mountain. But yet when you're here in the waterfront, you've got a 360-degree view of everything.
So, Amanda, this is your
This is
pond.
this is my playground. The V&A Food Market.
What would you expect to try here?
Well, you get a whole range of different foods, but we're going to start with Africa's best.
Okay.
Real food for real working people. Hello, Irene.
Hello.
Good. This is Catherine. This is Irene. She owns the stand.
Hi, Irene. How are you? Very nice to meet you too.
So we have sampan beans, and pap is like your maize staple diet, and it's normally served with a vegetable and a meat.
Yeah.
And is this lunch or dinner?
It's lunch and dinner.
It's breakfast too.
Yeah, you can also have it as your breakfast.
For your
because
breakfast?
It's good, yeah, especially for those who drink before they sleep. In the morning, it's good for yeah.
Okay, so what do you do?
You take your pap
You pop.
and you like dip it in your gravy,
Yeah.
and you grab a bit of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Down the head.
Okay, so pop. Oh, it's quite sticky. More sticky than I thought.
You know,
Okay.
we get like a sweeter version of this, like it's almost like
A little bit
what
of
is it?
this.
The milk tart pap that they have for breakfast.
Okay, and off we go.
Yeah.
I think you'd struggle with that for breakfast. There's so much in it.
Yeah, they do some for
delicious,
breakfast. Huh?
Irene.
And yeah, they do.
Okay, this is a Stokkies dry biltong, which is a South African staple as well. This is Armand. This is Catherine.
Hello, Amand. How are you?
Very good.
Tell me a little bit about biltong.
Okay, biltong is a uniquely South African product. It was developed many years ago when there wasn't fridges available. So they had to get a method to keep the meat fresh. Basically what biltong is a piece of meat, any kind of meat. It could be beef, it could be wild game that gets spiced and then air dried. Now the spices that we use is a secret, but the basic process
Come
is
on, I've come all the way from Ireland now. Give us a hint.
the most basic one is coriander that you will put on it, and then you use black vinegar to get your spices to pull in.
Black vinegar.
Yes, to pull into the meat. Because it doesn't help you put the piece of meat in the spices, it won't pull in
No,
itself.
it won't.
Yeah, so you have to have methods to get the spice to move into the meat. If you have a look on the back here, you will see that all these kind of animals you can make biltong from. Amanda, would you
No,
also
no, no,
like?
no, no, I'm
You can
still-
reacquaint yourself with the taste.
Do you like it?
I'll go for the fat. I'll do the fatty bits.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's really moist.
Every person that grows up in South Africa is addicted to this stuff. They just don't know it. The first time that they learn that they are addicted is when they go abroad and they can't find it.
Yeah.
So I always say, if you go abroad from South Africa, first you miss the biltong, then family and then friends, and that following order.
Cape Malay cooking is unique to this region of South Africa. Stews, biryanis and curries brought here 350 years ago by the Indonesian slaves of the original Dutch settlers. And I'm learning from the expert, the famous Cape Malay cook Zainie.
Hi, Catherine. How are you? Great, come inside.
Thank you. Zainie, I'd love to learn a little bit more about Cape Malay curry and what the base flavour is.
The base flavour is how you mix your masala. So we got to mix the spices for a chicken curry.
Right, okay.
Okay.
So what have we got?
We've got here fennel, and this is the seed. Cumin, and that's the seed. This is the powder spice, and then we've got the coriander.
Okay.
So when we put these three together, you get a garam masala.
Right.
That is the brown seeds. You add turmeric to that, then you need to add your red. Now the red is pending who you're cooking for. Is it somebody that likes hot, mild, and very hot? We in the Bo-Kaap here in South Africa have a beautiful masala at the masala shop, and that is called a father-in-law. They have two masalas, father-in-law and mother-in-law. Can you believe it? The mother-in-law is hot and the father-in-law is chilled. So, in we go. In we go. Now this is called a garam masala. When we
And you
mix
would
this
use that
together.
quantity for 4 to 5 people?
Yes.
I don't think we use
this.
as
We're only
much at home.
halfway there. We're only halfway
Yeah,
there.
I think we'd be afraid. I think we would think, oh,
That is-
we're overspicing. And not just from the heat, but just from
Yes.
the flavour point of view.
No. So this is turmeric. So we use 2
That gives a
teaspoons of
lovely-
turmeric.
2 teaspoons, that'd be amazing colour out of that now.
Now, when you get back home, this is the amount of paprika. But we're going to use some of the father-in-law.
Father-in-law.
Okay, so that's our masala.
Lovely.
For our curry for 5. Let's see if it's done. Making a good sound.
The singing of the onion.
Filling up the onion.
Okay, they're quite large onions then, are they?
Yeah, it's like 4 curry for 5. It's about that size, 2 of those. But keep the 2 in 1 equation, like 2 onions, 1 tomato.
1 tomato.
Right.
It's a very good tip. Yeah.
So now we're going to put in our chicken.
That's lovely.
Skins off. Do you want to put that in?
Okay, so are you sure now I should put all of this in?
Just chuck everything in.
I don't want to be the person that ruined the Cape Malay curry.
Nothing's going to happen.
I have a reputation to uphold. It's so much, doesn't it? So I need to give that a good
Quick
stir.
stir.
Because you need to cook out your spices, don't you?
Yes. Now the spice is cooking into the chicken, and you have to kind of prolong the watering business. So 2 cups of water. If you put it in immediately, you're going to create a soup, and you don't want that. You want to go on stirring the spice into the chicken instead of watering or diluting it.
That
right?
makes perfect
So,
sense.
yeah. Now we
colour
put
of
the
chicken now.
tomato in.
Lovely.
And the ginger and garlic, and it's, you know, each one gets a chance to go onto the base of the pot and cook into the chicken. And then with curry leaf, you can just chuck the whole thing in. So we cook with spice, but not with chili.
Yeah.
So a little bit of sugar, and then a teaspoon of lemon.
I love the colour, I love the smell. So wholesome.
The cooking time now for the potato cut in this size, and the cooking time for the chicken is more or less the same. Hence, we're putting in our potatoes. So now we can do the water, the rest of the water, and then put it on low heat.
Okay, so you bring it to the boiler, presume, and...
Yes.
And
After a 20-minute simmer, how does it taste?
Lovely.
that is so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too spicy after all.
Isn't
I'm
potatoes
beginning to
that
like
his
the
job?
father-in-law.
Potatoes that his job.
It
Grab all the hot
Zainie,
heat.
thank you so much. I've learned so much about Cape Malay cuisine. Thank you very, very much for your time.
I'm sure Zainie's lesson will come in handy when I learn to cook the sugar bean curry. But for now, we're on the road to Calc Bay, where we're going to meet Berenice's mum, Lorraine.
Hi, Lorraine.
Hi,
I'm Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And you?
I'm great, thank you. Well, your daughter Berenice sent me a long, long way to find out about her favourite food. So you miss Berenice a lot, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm also very proud of her. Yeah, I'm proud of her. And because of her, I'm sitting here with you people today.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to Cookies.
So what have we got here?
Right, we've got snook. It's similar to barakuda, but it's a smaller fish. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
You're
George.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is the part I like of the fish. The big bone. This is
So it's the bone, and then you just suck the meat from the bone. And there's more flavour, just like there would be with meat. The flavour comes from the bone as well.
It's time to head home with Lorraine to meet her husband.
John is the cook in the household and is going to teach me how to make the famous sugar bean curry.
So Lorraine, John, thank you so much for having me in your home. This sounds like something that's going to be very difficult for me to recreate at home. You're going to have to show me every single detail of it.
For the sugar bean curry, add oil to a hot pot, followed by the herbs and spices.
Gosh, there's some array of spices here.
Yeah, we got curry leaves.
Yeah?
That's whole coriander.
Right.
Bay leaves. And this cardamom.
Cardamom.
And that is cinnamon sticks.
Allspice.
Allspice. And that is your star aniseed. And that is whole mustard.
Mustard seed.
Black mustard seeds.
Mustard
Oh, I
seeds.
really like them for flavour.
Cook on a low heat for 4 to 5 minutes. Add garlic, ginger, chilli, onions and pepper, then put the lid on.
So is this by far Berenice's favourite dish?
I've learned from her when she phones, she will say that I've made curry, but not like we do it at home.
Once the ingredients have softened, add some tomato puree and for sweetness a little sugar. Then turn up the heat and mix the ingredients together. Add in the turmeric, the leaf masala and then the lamb. Add enough water to cover the meat and 2 stock cubes and bring to the boil. Then allow to simmer until the meat softens.
What do you think, John?
Now I think we can put in the beans.
Oh, okay.
Remember that your dried beans need to be soaked overnight before adding them to the curry. If you can't find sugar beans, then white kidney beans will work just as well. Bring back to the boil and then simmer for 2 to 3 hours until the meat falls off the bone. For the sambal, pour boiling water over some raw onions to draw out the bitterness. Drain them and add to some chopped tomatoes. Make a dressing with sugar, salt, distilled vinegar, water and olive oil. Mix it all together and then add to the sambal.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Meat's coming
That
off
was great,
the
Lorraine.
bone.
The meat is off the bone, you are so right. That looks beautiful.
Lorraine and John's sugar bean curry is served with rice, sambal and oranges cut into wedges. All that remains now is to sit down with the family and taste.
Do you like it?
Oh, that's lovely. Really nice, isn't it? The beans just break up in it. So tasty. It still has a bit of bite in it though, doesn't it, John? It's still got the little bit of heat. Yeah, there was something hidden in that leaf masala that you were showing me. There was something hidden in there. Do you guys have a message for Berenice? Anything I can pass on?
I think that since Berenice is in Ireland, she's experiencing different things. For her to be able to do what she's doing right now, I think it's absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Berenice. God bless you. I may love you.
What an amazing trip to Cape Town, from the gorgeous food and wines out in Stellenbosch to the eclectic mix at the markets. But the highlight for me definitely has been spending time here with Berenice's family and learning so much about the nuances of Cape Malay cuisine, but also just being part of the family and the warmth within. And I'm really looking forward to taking that back to Sligo.
So this week we're bringing John and Lorraine's sugar bean curry all the way from Cape Town to Sligo.
Hi, Berenice.
Hi, Catherine.
Well, this is gorgeous Sligo, but Cape Town, oh my goodness, I had an amazing time in Cape Town. It's such a beautiful city. It's got everything for tourists. It's got the wine, the food, the mountains,
The ocean.
sea.
Yeah, that's what I miss about Cape Town is the swimming, because I don't swim in Sligo, and then the food, the Cape Malay influence in the curry and that. You know, I do it myself, but it'd be nice if somebody makes it for me.
Oh, there's a hint.
So it's back to Berenice's place to teach her everything there is to know about sugar bean curry and to pass on all of John's tips and tricks.
John had this little trick, which I thought was brilliant, where he just cut the tops off the carton, whereas I'm used to crushing them.
With the curry nearly ready and preparations finalised, Berenice's guests arrive, including some friends who lived in neighbouring Zambia. And Berenice's children, Ethan and Danielle.
Now, here we go.
Thank you.
A little taste of Cape Town for you. This is sugar bean curry, and I learnt it from John and Lorraine, and I hope I've done them proud.
Thank you.
It's funny because we never really had like pizza and chips and that. Like this would be what we'd eat, or my granny would make us eat but like my granddad would make all the food really like this. This is what we're used to here.
This is really nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's beautiful.
No, the lamb is so nice and tender.
What's in this?
Onions, tomato, vinegar, water, a bit of sugar, a bit of salt. We can send Catherine back to Cape Town to live with the Cape Malays, yeah?
Yeah.
It was really beautiful.
Yeah,
And it's quite tender as well.
Very
Yeah.
tender.
Yeah. See, Irish lamb with South African ingredients, you can't go too far wrong. I had to get that in there, didn't I? I've got dessert coming next.
Thank you.
Inspired by the food I tasted in Cape Town, I'm going to create a classic South African dessert for Berenice, a milk tart. For the pastry base, start with some flour, icing sugar, seeds from a vanilla pod and mix together. Next, rub in some chilled diced butter until the mixture resembles breadcrumbs. Then make a well and pop in a beaten egg. Lightly knead until a dough is formed and wrap in cling film. Refrigerate for about 20 minutes. Roll out the chilled dough and put it into the baking tin, trimming away the excess. Line with baking parchment and fill with dried beans and then blind bake for about 20 minutes. For the filling, begin by warming up some condensed milk, add cinnamon and nutmeg and keep stirring so that it doesn't stick to the pan. Once the mixture warms through, take it off the heat. Add almond and vanilla extracts to 2 eggs, then whisk in some flour and corn flour, making sure there are no lumps. Put the condensed milk mixture back onto a low heat, add in the egg mix, and bring the filling back to a simmer. Keeping the heat low, continue whisking for a further 5 minutes. Once the mixture thickens, pour it into the blind baked pastry base and put it aside to set. A classic South African sweet treat, milk tart garnished with strawberries and mint.
That's yummy.
The milk tart's yummy.
Oh yeah, so nice.
Well, it's missing now is a cup of tea. This was very nice, huh?
Yeah. She has really done
Cape Town proud.
She excels.
We'll have to give Catherine a t-shirt. Proudly Cape Town.
Well, I hope it was a flavour of home for you.
No, it was.
Was it?
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Yeah, I'm
That's it.
delighted.
We're going to send you back home so you can teach them the Irish version of Cape Malay cooking. Which is a one up. You raised the bar.
Oh, thank you so much. That I'm thrilled with now. I'm really pleased because the hospitality in your home in Cape Town was just amazing, as it is here. It's an experience I'll never forget, and I hope for you I've given you an experience that will remind you of home.
Thank you, it was lovely.
Thank you so much. I just go back and do a bit of washing now.
You can leave the washing up if it's stuck on you. Oh,
I am leaving it. No. Well, that was a really lovely evening, and I'm really pleased that I was able to recreate dishes that I'm not familiar with, the sugar bean curry, northern milk tart, and that it actually tasted like home for Berenice and her family. Next time on Taste Like Home, I'm bringing a dish from Blanchardstown to Playa del Carmen in Mexico.